Hey y'all, happy Monday. So we're going to pick up today in our Psalm 1, still about the tree and the roots and the word and all of that working together. We talked last week about how everything comes up through the roots into the tree, and that's how it receives nourishment. That's how you water a tree, fertilizer, everything comes up from the roots through the tree out to the branches and the leaves. Oh, I need to make a note for that. For just in a couple of days, we will be all over that. So let's return to Ephesians 1:13 and read that verse. And it says, in him, so it's Jesus, you who have heard the word of truth, the glad tidings, the gospel of your salvation, and have believed in and adhered to and relied on him, were stamped with the seal of the long-promised Holy Spirit. We're stamped with the seal of the long-promised Holy Spirit. So let's define a seal. A seal is something that confirms, ratifies, or makes secure. A guarantee, assurance, something that secures, tight and perfect closure. Well, if we go down one more verse, let's read Ephesians 1:14. It says, that Spirit, so the Holy Spirit that you have received, is the guarantee of our inheritance, the first fruits, the pledge, foretaste, the down payment on our heritage, in anticipation of its full redemption and our acquiring complete possession of it to the praise of his glory. So that Holy Spirit that we were sealed with when we received the Holy Spirit of God, he sealed us, and he was or is the guarantee of our inheritance, proof that there's more to come. That if he did in fact send his Holy Spirit, if he gave us his Holy Spirit, then everything else that he's promised is truth also. I talk a lot about what I tell Joseph, mostly because that's fresh on my mind. But we had this conversation. How can you believe God? How do you know that you can trust God? How do you know he's going to do what you pray and what he said he's going to do in the Bible? And I said, well, did the sun shine today? Yeah, it did. It's going to shine tomorrow too. Even if there are clouds, the sun is still going to come up behind those clouds. So the same God spoke, and the sun became. The planets were in their place. Trees, like we've already talked about last week, trees they existed and began to produce. And so the same God who by the same voice has given us promise in his word. And if he is true in one area, he is true in all areas. If his word is true, it's true. If God, who the word says cannot lie, lies and doesn't do what he promised, we can all just expect the sun to fall out of the sky. That's how faithful he is and how powerful his word is. The Bible tells us that he upholds all things by the word of his power. And all things are held together. Colossians tells us that it's in Colossians 2. No, Colossians 1. Verse 17, and he himself existed before all things, and in him all things consist and are held together. So if he holds the sun and the planets together, he can hold me together by the promise of his word. And if I believe that the sun is going to shine every day, then I should believe the same way that whatever he has promised in his word is his will for me. That he has it, he has made it available for me. That he didn't just say it in vain. He didn't put the sun and the moon and the planets in the sky in vain. They do what they were commanded to do. And his word is full of power. Luke 1:37 tells us that. We'll go there and then we'll finish for the day. This is just reminders, right? Luke 1:37 says, "For with God nothing is ever impossible, and no word from God shall be without power or impossible of fulfillment." So be encouraged with that today. You have received the Holy Spirit of God. You have been stamped. You have been sealed. And that Holy Spirit is the guarantee of the things to come. We'll pick up here tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.